Why, Saquon? Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Obviously, by the title, we're going to be going over Saquon Barkley's recent contract. He signed the 1 year, $11 million with a $2 million signing bonus. And here's why I hate it. I think Saquon took a chance on himself signing a 1 year deal. I think that it's a very big risk since, again, it's a 1 year deal. He has a possibility of getting injured. He's already had injuries in the past, and if he does get injured, it's going to hurt his value. Really, this contract, the 1 year, $11 million, is not much of a boost from the franchise tag that they were offering him before. Really, I think that it's roughly about $1 million of a difference, and even then, to me, that's just not worth it. My opinion, I feel teams that do this are not in the right. I don't like it when teams do this. I understand why teams do it, but I don't agree with it. For my opinion, I feel with the running back situation, I think teams should do it out as 2 to 3 year contracts. I understand a lot of players want longer term deals, but again, they've got to see it from both sides for the business aspect. I understand teams want to make sure that they don't put a ton of money in, like a prime example of like Zeke, and then a lot of years, a lot of money, and then losing out on that. I feel like there could be a good middle ground of 2 to 3 years where both the player and the team is happy. I feel that a 3 year deal would be great. The team could fix it to where the third year is the big heavy year and where they could restructure the deal if they wanted to, or cut bait. It just all depends. I think in Saquon's situation here, I think he kind of got duped by the Giants. They were really not wanting to budge from a certain amount, which I think really $10-11 million is not really what Saquon's worth. In my opinion, I think Saquon deserved at least 12 to 13. Obviously, the $15 million cap hit for Zeke for the highest paid, I think, is a ceiling that not many people want to go to, or if not any team. I understand that, but there's a good balance to where a player can sit for the amount of money that they're going to earn. I think 12 to 13 is a good price point, especially for Zeke's caliber. He had a great season last year. Obviously, the couple years before that, he was coming off of injury, but he has shown that he can play big. Another prime example why I don't like this deal is the incentives that he's going to have to reach to get the extra money for this contract. So looking over my notes here, literally the incentives that he needs 11 touchdowns, 1,350 yards rushing, and 65 receptions. That is ridiculous. So Saquon's best rushing season was last year at 1,312 yards. He wasn't even at 1,350 before. He's never had 1,350. So they're already asking him to even be better than he was last year. I understand that. That's a team always wants a player to be better. But for an incentive, that's a little much to ask for on top of these other ones I'm about to go over with you. Another one, they want him to have 11 touchdowns. It doesn't say specifics if it's rushing, receiving combined, or if it's just rushing. I'm going to go off of the assumption that it's just rushing. And Saquon has only had 11 in his career as height for 11 touchdowns once, and that was his rookie season. Last year, he only got 10 rushing touchdowns. So again, this team is looking for more of a boost out of Saquon for this next year, and I haven't even gotten into the receiving. Same thing with the receiving. Last year, he had only 57 receptions. His best year was 91, which was his rookie year 5 years ago, which is really a long time ago. But they want him now to get 65 receptions on top of the 11 rushing touchdowns and 1,350 yards rushing. That's a lot to ask of one player, and I think really it's a ridiculous deal. Again, like I've been saying, I think this deal is terrible. Again, I think the Giants made a mistake. I feel like they could have gotten Saquon on a 2 or 3 year contract and given him the amount that he kind of wanted. I feel he probably did want maybe 12, 13, 14 is kind of pushing it. But I feel Saquon's kind of worth that money. I mean, he's only a 26-year-old running back. I get it. Running backs are not a high key player or position that teams want. But really, running backs are still important. And I think, once again, there's a good middle ground here where teams can sit with the players where both sides are happy. Really, it comes down to a lot of these running backs. They're just going to have to put their foot down. I'm not a huge fan of sitting out seasons. I don't like it at all. But there's got to be something where these teams can't just keep doing these franchise tags and putting the pressure on the player to do better when it could cost them a lot more in return. Once again, I understand why teams have franchise tags. I think they are a good thing, but also a bad thing. I don't like players sitting out, but in circumstances kind of like this, I feel like the Giants would have to fold eventually. Or in situations like the Raiders, I think Josh Jacobs deserves about the same amount of money that I'm talking about with Saquon here. Really, 12, 13 million a year. I think the Raiders could do the same thing. They could do a 2 to 3 year contract. 2 years, you could do the bulk of it on the second season, so it gives you one full season to see how well they can do at the somewhat of a price that they want. And then if you want to restructure the deal, you can move on and do that. But really, guys, I really don't like this contract. I don't know why Saquon did it. I understand that he wanted to still be with the Giants, but in the end, they kind of screwed him. But guys, that's my thoughts on the situation going into that. And until next time.